Hey guys, it's me Falco, welcome back to another video. In today's video, it's basically going to be a guide on Troll Spellsmith because I like the class. I always have liked the class. And yeah, I think it's still pretty okay. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so to actually get the class, obviously you need to get rank 10 in a Troll rep, then you'll just join Blood Tusk. Obviously, if you've already got rank 10, you kind of probably know where to go by now. So you'll come up here, go to the left, you'll talk to this dude, you go to the rep shop, and obviously there's a bunch of rep things in here, and you'll have the class here. 50k, it's a pretty decent price just in gold. Obviously you can also buy it for 10k. For 2k ACs, my best advice for farming this reputation, probably getting the swag tokens, like swag token A, and handing them in during like a rep boost event with some other boosts active on your character. I think you need to turn in like maybe 15, 20 max with that on. But yeah. Okay, so now we're in the museum, obviously. I'll go over the enhancements. Overall, I think full wizard enhancement for this is probably the best you can do, just to get the higher damage rather than crit. For enhancements via Valencia, I'd go with Spiral Carve personally. You'll probably be getting the most damage out of that. Besides that, I'm not too sure for Forge enhancements, but I'm sure some of you guys can work it out. If you do, please let me know down in the comments because I still haven't got them all unlocked yet. So yeah. Okay guys, I'll go over the skills really quickly. So obviously your auto attack is just a regular auto attack, nothing too special there. Your second attack, Energy Arc, is going to hit 4 targets and it's going to decrease their haste by 5% for 10 seconds. And it stacks up to 4 times, so up to 20% decrease in haste. Your third skill, Frost Flame, is either going to apply Chilled or it's going to apply Seared. Chilled decreases haste by another 30%. Up here is Chilled, so it's a chance. Seared reduces outgoing damage by 30%, and both effects last for up to 8 seconds. So it depends what you get. You can keep something stacked if you get lucky, or you can just get both on at the same time, which is also nice. Your fourth skill, Energy Drain, is going to drain your health, but it is instead going to give you mana. So I'm not too sure if you can see there. So like say if your mana goes down, you can click Energy Drain. You basically never use it, to be honest, but you lose about a third of your health, maybe around a quarter between those two amounts. So it's not great personally. But then your fifth skill, Weakness Sigil, does heal you. So it stacks up to 5 times, heals you a tiny bit, and applies Sigil. Now Sigil increases the effectiveness of all your other skills, apparently. And it basically stacks up to 5 times, I think. Yeah, I did read it right. It stacks up to 5 times, so you get up to 25% extra crit chance, and then 35% damage resistance, which would go entwined with your second skill, or your third skill, sorry, your Frost Flame with Seared. So you get outgoing damage reduced by 65% maximum. But yeah, as you can see there, it's a decent heal. It's about 1000. So if you do feel like you're in the need, you can always just do that. It's not really a big deal. Obviously it depends what your weapon hits it as. And if you do get a crit as well, you can get just a low roll for the heal, but usually you get a decent crit, so you'll be okay. Okay guys, just in Dark World Legion to show off the farming capabilities, obviously. What I like to do beforehand is basically stack your 5th skill, your Weakness Sigil, up 5 times, so you get the maximum amount of boosts you can. What you want to be doing though, obviously, is making sure this is always active. You never really need to press your 4th skill, to be honest. I'll press it now just to get some mana back so I can do the skills. But yeah, as you can see, you get some nice crits. Your 3rd skill is always going to be more active than your 2nd. However, you just want to make sure you're pressing them all, really. making sure you're keeping all of them active as much as possible. If you do need mana, once again, you can always just press that. It kind of depends how lucky you get with your weapon damage as well. So sometimes you can get some really nice crits. I think usually I get around 6k. Depending on what weapon you use, because obviously I'm not using a boost weapon currently. As you see, 6.5k. You can get up to around 9k in both damage. And healing wise, you can get up to around maybe 1.8k. If you use like NSOD, for example. Yeah, as you can see, the farming capabilities are actually pretty decent. If you do need mana at any point, you just click your 4th skill. It's not really a big deal. But your 1st skill does retrieve mana for you as well pretty nicely. Okay guys, I'm in Revenant, obviously with the Forgotten Souls. I'm just going to pre-stack my 5th skill as well. Obviously for harder enemies like this, you do want to pre-stack as much as possible. It gives you more resistances, whatever else. It's just something you want to keep in mind. I'm also using the Burning Blade of Azubeth? I always forget the name. However, I am using that right now, just because it will be hopefully useful to me in dealing a bit more damage. And I'm going to run to one of these guys, just so I can get more mana if I do end up hitting them. And you'll basically just want to spam your skills as much as possible. Generally, you want to do your 2nd skill before your 3rd skill, if possible, just because you get extra mana from that. But as you can see, you're keeping up pretty well with all these enemies. You never really have too much of a trouble. Healing wise, you've got a decent heal. The cooldown's not too long. Like as you can see, especially with a Burning Blade, I'm doing around 9k damage when I get a decent crit, around 7k there. But I'm also keeping heals up at around 1500 plus, but also 1200 around a minimum on a crit, I think. Obviously, if you have NSOD, you'll be doing a lot better as well. I do have Lacerate equipped right now, just because that's what I have on my Burning Blade. However, obviously you can keep the full wizard with Spiral Carve. It's generally not, necessary to use any Forge enhancements. However, with a class like this, I suppose if you do use the better ones, it will help you immensely. Okay guys, so we're in the Necro Dungeon. Just going to do some soloing for you guys. I may or may not speed it up. I will probably put rotations down on the screen as well while I am doing this. I most likely put it up for the farming as well, but it's always nice to have. It's always a nice thing to have. So we're just going to start fighting. So you generally want to do your 2nd before your 3rd skill, like I mentioned. But obviously your 3rd skill cooldown is quicker. So it rotates nicely when you do it properly. If not, there's not too much of a worry because it's not too hard to reset the things in general. But yeah, overall it's pretty decent at farming. I suppose it's going to take a while, so I am going to just speed it up real quick. But I will just put the rotation down below. As you can see, I'm not struggling too much in general. But yeah, let's go. Okay, as you can see, that took forever, and we gathered a nice 78 stacks of both the resilience and the sigil. But yeah, I'm not going to solo anything else, but I'm sure if you use something like potent honor potions and stuff like that, you'll do more damage. Overall though, that makes any class decent. But it is a decent class for soloing, especially if you have nothing else. For lower health bosses, definitely a lot better than something like this dude, because obviously he has like 700k health, so you'll take forever farming each rotation. It's not made for soloing, but it's still pretty decent. Okay, so I'm just back in my house. I'll go over my thoughts of the class. Overall, for farming, I would probably give it like an A-, B+ rating, especially nowadays. It's still pretty good for mobs, as you saw earlier, with decently high health pools. But yeah, probably an A-. It's not the best, but definitely not terrible. The only problem may be healing, if you don't have the right things kind of on enhancements and weapon-wise. However, it's still pretty good. Soloing, probably going to give it like a C+, B-. It's okay. It's not made for soloing. Hawk Evader's made more for soloing. But yeah, it's still a fun, decent class to use for soloing wise. Overall, I really like the design. As you can see, I have the sword equipped currently, or the daggers, whatever they're called. You can get this from the rep shop too. I think you need to be like rank 9 or 10. But I really used to like seeing this back in the day. They're really cool overall. I think the design is pretty neat. I think the design of the class itself is also really good. I like the resistances, I like the haste lowering, and also that you can gather mana back from your 4th skill and heal yourself with a 5th. Overall, I think it's a pretty nice class. I would recommend you to get it if you do enjoy it, especially if you go through the story. It may be a bit difficult, however, just because the story for Troll and Hawk don't really give you too much reputation. But if you can gather a rep, it's pretty okay for a lower range class for farming. It doesn't keep up necessarily with things like Archfiend and stuff like that, however, it's still okay. Overall, I think that's going to be it for the video though. Apologies if I did ramble on a tiny bit, that's just what I do. Either way, I hope that you have a good day, good night, good evening, whatever time it may be for you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.